when you wear a suit, it must come with a tie. But this minister is not properly dressed because he's wearing a suit without a tie. We stay in Ghana, in Africa, and we always talk about colonialism and neo-colonialism. Right, Honorable Speaker, in Westminster, the British Parliament, the Speaker of British Parliament has ruled that members of Parliament in British Parliament can enter British Parliament without putting on a tie. In British Parliament, the Speaker of British Parliament has ruled, and for this year, all of us, we have watched Prime Minister's questions in Westminster, where people have stood up and asked questions not in time. In British Parliament, you sit in Ghana, and simply want to say that somebody is not tying a tie around his neck, so he's not properly dressed. Whereas in British Parliament, they go there without tie. This is shameful, and the Speaker, please dismiss it.
Mr. Speaker, I'm surprised at the argument of the former minority chief whip. He knows that it is beyond that. In this parliament, it has been ruled over. But if you choose to wear a tie like yours, now he's properly dressed, you can sit in. Now, the Speaker, to add, the Speaker, yesterday, what happened was an incident.
Can we bring a closure?
And the Speaker, I don't want to
Honorable Chief Whip, can we bring a closure to the motion, the matter brought by the Honorable Member for Adaklu? Very well. Honorable Members, I think that the Honorable Minister, after listening, can you resume your seat, please, Chief Whips? After listening to the objection, has gone to put on a tie. Indeed, let it be on record that our dress code, the admissible dress to Parliament, if you choose to wear a suit, you must wear a tie. If you choose to wear an African dress, then you're not bound to wear a tie. But once you choose to wear a suit, then you must wear a tie. The Minister has complied.
Mr. Speaker.
Order. Honourable Members, order. I have just given somebody a floor. Can you resume your seat?
Mr. Speaker, respectfully, I rise on the point of order. On the statement that has been raised by Honorable Ayariga, which is discriminatory, and the Constitution of this country is so clear. Mr. Speaker, you were ably voted for by the people of the Kwai. And in my interest, our friends on the other side, that I hail from that constituency. And I represent the people of Dami-Kwabenya in Greater Accra region. Mr. Speaker, to say that you are physically present here and have a seat for the people of the Kwai and for the Member of Parliament for Boko, Honorable Ayariga, to say that you had no right to be in the chamber is out of order. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker,
Honourable Order. Kindly bring your conclusion. Kindly conclude, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also want to state on record, Mr. Speaker, this is a house of record, and as the former deputy majority leader of this house, I was present in this house yesterday. Mr. Speaker,
You are not here.
Mr. Speaker, and to state categorically that I cannot force Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa, who is my friend on the other side, to dress the way I want him to dress. And that is an insult on womanhood. And so those making that noise, Mr. Speaker, should withdraw. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
It is obvious that our national constitution risks being defiled, Mr. Speaker. The provisions of the constitution on this matter is clear. Mr. Speaker, Article 102 and Article 104 are clearly distinguishable. Mr. Speaker, they are clearly distinguishable. And Mr. Speaker, for the avoidance of doubt, let me repeat Article 102 and Article 104. Article 102 reads, Mr. Speaker, a quorum of Parliament, apart from the person presiding. Mr. Speaker, the emphasis, Mr. Speaker, the emphasis is on the person presiding. That's the emphasis. Shall be 1/3 of all the members of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, it is needless to point out that this quorum, pursuant to Article 102, is quorum for conducting business. Mr. Speaker, in that respect, Mr. Speaker, in that respect, may I respectfully refer the House to the book written by the respected jurists KB Ayensu and SN Dako on an introduction to the law, practice and procedure of Parliament of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, that is clearly stated, the distinguishing between the quorum for conducting business. So that is Article 102.
Mr. Speaker, my colleague is grossly out of order. We are talking about our constitution and our standing orders, and you are talking about a book somebody has written that nobody. Mr. Speaker, my colleague Honorable Address of in a point of order was talking about she was present yesterday. Mr. Speaker, very soon we will get to know whether Honorable Address of was truly in the chamber yesterday or it was a different person who was there yesterday.
Mr. Speaker, the point I'm making is that the Deputy Speaker who mounts the chair does not cease to be a member of this House. That's the point. That's point number one. Now, number two, 1092 says that the Speaker shall have neither an original nor a casting vote. Right? The Speaker, that is appreciated. That is commonplace. And that is why the Speaker did not participate in the voting. That's the distinction that we are failing to appreciate. It's a distinction that we are failing to appreciate. He didn't need to vote. He have the number to establish the fact that there were 138 members in the House. That is what we fail to appreciate, because it's beyond you. Mr. Speaker, that is it. So, once you have the 138 members in the House, and for a particular matter, even 70 of the 138 vote for it, the motion is carried. I can't appreciate why people can't even understand this, because it's beyond you. It's beyond you. You can't even appreciate this, Mr. Speaker. So that is the purpose. So, Mr. Speaker, I respectfully want to submit that all this exercise is an exercise in futility. It's a prodigal waste of the time of this House. And, Mr. Speaker, I invite you to make a ruling on this matter to save this House further embarrassment. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Yes, he heard me, but let him be reminded that when I quoted Order 51, you rose and quoted 52. Mr. Speaker, let him complete the reading of 1091. Complete it for the record. And then, Mr. Complete it for the record, Mr. Speaker. Then you say, Speaker. Mr. Speaker includes a member presiding at a sitting. Don't set aside our standing orders. You are grossly misleading this House. So let him complete standing order 1091. Don't read it halfway. Read it in full for our purposes. Thank you.
Here today, which was not discussed yesterday. All the arguments that have been made were practically the arguments and the issues raised and discussed and contained in my ruling yesterday. There are a few matters, though, which I wish to clarify. First, it must be clear that a deputy speaker is not a speaker. Indeed, Article 96(1) Article 96(1) of the Constitution says, and I quote, there shall be 2 deputy speakers of parliament who shall be elected by members of parliament from among members of parliament. And if you contrast that with Mr. Speaker is not a member of parliament. I am a member of parliament. The Honorable Second Deputy Speaker is a member of parliament, and our role is to assist the speaker in managing this House. So any attempt, to read, I'm not a member, if you don't keep quiet, I will be forced to ask you to leave. Any attempt to read and interpret the Constitution of Mr. Speaker to include the deputy speakers is a misreading and a misapplication of the Constitution. But when Mr. Speaker is not available, either of us will preside on the House. So can any other member, if necessary. Any other member can be elected by the House to preside. That member does not lose his right to be a member of the House. That is what our standing order is saying. Honourable members, when it comes to the question of voting, it is very clear. Anytime any of the deputy speakers or any other member elected to preside is in the chair, that member does not vote. That has never been in dispute. Anytime a member is presiding, either a deputy speaker or a member who by necessity is elected from among members to preside, that person does not vote.
He's debating. We are debating.
Who was that?
Shut up!
You should shut up, brother. Who was that? Can the messenger find that person and work him out?
Money we are ruling.
Farouk, please.
Sit down. Speaker, rule quickly.
Honourable members, I'll continue with the ruling. The debate on Article 102 and 104 has been made, and it is not new. I was here on this side of the House when the matter relating which the Honourable Abu Janapo referred to and repeated by the Speaker was made. The first ruling was made by Honourable Martin Odro, the then First Deputy Speaker. It's related to the Bank of Ghana Act, in which we had voted. The members in the minority were more than the members in the majority. But when you add the two together, it did not add to 1/2 of the members. And so the presiding Deputy Speaker then said that vote is invalid. Those on the minority challenged it. But when Mr. Speaker Honorable Doajaho came, he explained that, and he referred to the constitutional provisions to justify that unless 50% or more were in the House, the vote was invalid. That has been stated and over again. But members the applicants refer to Article 104 and say that unless otherwise provided. Yes. Let's go to Article 104. Article 104, it says voting in Parliament. It should be differentiated from 102, which says quorum in Parliament. 102 says quorum in Parliament. 104 says voting in Parliament. And that is the interpretation given by the Honourable Doajaho, Right Honourable Doajaho. So a clear distinction has been set out and it is on record in this House. Again, when members argue that except otherwise provided in the Constitution, it is clear that it is provided for in Article 2912, where it is required that a decision be made by 2/3 of members. It doesn't mean that we should go to the quorum for. So, honourable members, let me put on record that I am a member of Parliament. I was counted to make the quorum, and
that was suspended in this House.
But
what are you doing? You don't rule on it. We have to take a decision.
I did not vote.
Tell me in the standard orders what is
therefore the application.
He cannot
the
rule.
request, the
He cannot rule on an motion. That is before the House. No. How can he rule on a motion? He cannot rule on the motion before the House. How can he rule? So as the standard order.
Honourable members, sitting is suspended for 1 hour.
You are not a speaker. We are waiting. If you are not a speaker, don't preside. You shouldn't preside. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. You don't want to govern the country. You want to make the country ungovernable. Yes. You want to make the country ungovernable. Continue.